Look at a map of India's economy. You will see dense clusters of wealth in urban hubs sitting right next to vast, isolated regions struggling for basic resources. To fix this uneven growth, policymakers use two main approaches. Sectoral planning focuses on boosting specific industries across the board, like upgrading agriculture or expanding transport networks. Regional planning, on the other hand, zeroes in on geography to balance out areas that are lagging behind. Within regional planning, we break it down further. We use target group planning to assist marginalized demographics, like small farmers. But when an entire landscape is hostile to development, we use target area planning to tackle the physical environment itself. A standard national policy will not work everywhere. If you want to build a road or a school in a mountainous valley or a harsh desert, you have to customize your approach to survive those extreme physical constraints.
Take the Barmore and Holy Tahsils in Himachal Pradesh. This region is physically trapped between the towering Pir Panjal and Doladar mountain ranges. It is a high-altitude, freezing environment, and the traditional home of the Gadi tribal community. To survive here, they historically relied on transhumans, migrating seasonally with massive flocks of sheep and goats. To integrate this isolated region, the government launched the Integrated Tribal Development Project, or ITDP, in the 1970s. The immediate priority was laying down basic infrastructure: roads, communication lines, schools, and hospitals. This table tracks the project's impact, and the social data shows a sharp upward trend. Female literacy jumped from a mere 1.88% in 1971 to 65% by 2011. We see a similar spike in the economic data. The Gadis shifted away from nomadic herding and began cultivating highly profitable pulses and cash crops, stabilizing their income. But tracking these numbers also reveals a hidden cost. Only a tenth of the families still practice seasonal migration today, meaning traditional Gadi culture is fading. And because the infrastructure only reached central hubs, remote villages were completely left behind, creating severe inequality within the community itself. Now look at a completely different landscape, the Thar Desert. The Indira Gandhi Canal stretches 9,060 kilometers, originating at the Harike Barrage in Punjab and flowing parallel to the Pakistan border deep into Rajasthan. This aerial view shows a stark dividing line: sand and scrub on one side, dense green vegetation on the other. The canal brought enough water to replace drought-resistant grains with thirsty, high-yield crops like wheat and rice. Moving that water requires two different mechanical systems. Because the terrain naturally slopes down to the right bank uses gravity-fed flow irrigation, but the left bank sits higher than the canal itself, so farmers rely on electric pumps for lift irrigation to push the water uphill. This artificial water supply yielded immediate ecological benefits. Extensive afforestation and new pastures locked the sandy soil in place, significantly reducing severe wind erosion. However, pumping massive amounts of water into a desert with poor drainage creates a severe backlash. Farmers over-irrigated their new fields, causing the water table to rise. As water pooled on the surface and evaporated, it left behind thick crusts of salt, turning thousands of hectares of land completely toxic. Flooding a dry ecology with artificial resources creates a rapid agricultural boom, but without precise water management, it guarantees long-term environmental collapse. Both the Barmore Hills and the Rajasthan Desert show us the friction of modern planning. When economic growth erodes ancient cultures or poisons the soil, we have to ask how a region can develop today without destroying its own future. In 1987, a UN commission led by Gro Harlem Brundtland published a report called Our Common Future. It defined the solution as sustainable development, meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. For the Indira Gandhi Canal, applying this principle means strict intervention. It requires enforcing watershed management, restoring the natural ecological balance, and halting the over-irrigation that causes waterlogging. Let's review the data in this summary table, comparing our two case studies. Barmore aimed for social integration and achieved massive literacy gains, but at the cost of cultural loss and uneven village growth. Rajasthan aimed for desert greening and achieved an agricultural boom, but triggered severe soil salinity.
Geographic planning demands a delicate negotiation between economic growth, ecological health, and cultural survival. Success is measured not by infrastructure built, but by the long-term viability of the landscape.